around my kit bag t-shirt.
You not got it on?
I thought I'd give it a miss, mate. They're all in the wash in anticipation of getting back on court.
So you've heard it live on Facebook. Rupert actually does wash his kit bag t-shirt, so that's good news.
There's a pile of more there, but I'd give it a rest. I'm not going to plug kit bag coaching at all tonight.
You've had your merch drop, haven't you?
Huh?
You've had your merch drop.
The merch has dropped. Yep, the merch has dropped. The merch is there. So's your hair. Hair's gone, mate.
Yeah, it's all gone. It's all gone for tonight's special. It's my tennis ball disguise tonight, Rupert. Just need to paint. I'm looking halfway in and he's painting yellow next.
Very good.
Excellent. Good. So if you join us live on Facebook, we are having a laugh tonight with Rupert. But the serious discussion is all about the backhand tonight. So if you've come to learn a little bit more about your backhand and why it's not going quite so well as it could be, if that makes any sense at all, then you're in the right place, because Rupert's going to give us some insight as to why your backhand is not where it needs to be and what to change to get it to where it needs to be. So I'm very excited because my backhand could always do a bit of work. So Rupert,
get the words out. So you're that excited.
What have you been doing today?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm still celebrating my 5K time last week, which I was going to tell everyone about on Friday, but we weren't here Friday, so
Isn't that how you put your hip out?
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, my hip actually hurts doing that. What was it? 1922 5K? Was it 90? Yeah.
1922. Is that even good?
For me?
Yeah.
I think that smashed my best by about 3 minutes. My new shoes. I know we're not meant. It's like the BBC. We shouldn't really do these bad boys.
How are you getting on with them?
Huh?
How are you getting on with them?
Oh, it took 3 minutes off my PB. They're brilliant. I'll run a marathon in these. I'll do it live on Facebook.
Excellent.
But no, yeah, I've been resting, and then we got some good news today in terms of getting back on court. So potentially only a few days away from getting back on court, which means to all those people who have been using the website www.kitbagcoaching.com, they're going to be ready to go. The rest of you had your chance. I hope you've been practicing, to some degree. And obviously, if we can get back on court on Wednesday, I look forward to seeing all my lovely clients again. But yeah, no, very excited if we get the green light. So see what happens.
Excellent, good stuff. So backhand, Rupert.
Two-handed backhand tonight.
Two-handed, brilliant.
Two-handed backhand. Yeah.
So no Federer tonight then?
No Federer, no. We've had enough of Federer. I feel we've been quite Roger heavy over the last 4 or 5 weeks, however long I've been roped into doing these.
Roger and Samper.
Yeah, people are going to think we're in some sort of paid sponsorship with Roger Federer. I mean, we are, but we don't want to tell the people that, do we? We're going to have a look at the two-handed backhand. We're going to show you a snippet from one of our courses. So just one sort of video out of that backhand course, and then we're just going to have a look at a few from my favourite player, Juan Martín del Potro. What a guy! Riddled with injuries, plagued with injuries his whole career, sadly. He needed a bit of use, Steve, is what he needed.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? Why is that? I don't know much about his history, actually, but where's just he's doing the Rupert warm-up, is he? Just get straight on with it.
What, fast 5K?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Do 5K in Ukraine.
It was like watching Mo Farah go around Verulamium Lake, mate. It was people were stopping and watching.
The white Mo Farah.
They tried to take pictures, but I was like this. It's incredible. The lightning bolt. No, so yeah, I personally, why is he always injured? I think it's that forehand, Steve. I mean, you just wouldn't coach his forehand technique. It's very, very army.
It'd be good to have a look at that actually at some stage.
I don't like looking at it. It's painful to watch. But no, he is my favourite player. He signed my iPhone at Wimbledon when I was about 12 because I had nothing else for him to sign. So I was like, Juan, would you sign?
He's still got the iPhone.
And he had a fight. Yeah, it rubbed off the next day. And he had a 5-minute chat with me after just, I think he lost to Ferrer. Anyway, and he had a 5-minute chat. He was lovely. Off court 18. Nicest guy. And from that day on, Juan was my guy. Go-to guy.
Your guy.
Favourite player.
Bromance.
Favourite player. What a guy. Such a nice guy. But yeah, no, so we're not going to have a look at his forehand, sadly. But we are going to have a look at his backhand. And we're looking at how to attack the backhand. So how to finish with a backhand, how to finish the rally with a backhand, which I think when we talk about finishing the rally, hitting winning shots, I feel it's an area people struggle with. And the main reason they struggle is not the technical side of it. It's more the tactical side. It's more the actual decision-making process of choosing the right ball to attack. Sometimes I think people get a bit trigger happy at the baseline and they try and hit a winner from the baseline. Saying that's, it's not impossible. But, when you're further back, obviously you've got to hit an even better shot for it to be a winner because the other player's got more time, right? So it's about weighing up the risk. So you've got to hit an incredibly good shot and the chances are they're still going to get it. So is it worth the risk of hitting that really hard flat shot low over the net? Probably not. But, if you can attack a higher ball near the service line, there's like a 60, 70, 80% chance you'll be able to put it away for a clean winner. So is it worth the risk of hitting harder and flatter in that situation? Yes, it is. So we're going to have a little look at that. And then I've found a nice little clip of Juan doing the same, doing it justice. So, yeah. Are you ready?
All set.
You ready for it? Well, I'll try and remember to screen share first. So.
Make sure there's no swearing and the volume's turned right down. We all know what happened last time.
There's never any swearing, is there? Look at that sunshine. Beautiful. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Cool. So this is just one part of our intermediate backhand course where we basically start to talk more about the tactics in this intermediate level. So what we're covering in this specific video is how to sort of attack that higher ball. Hi guys, welcome back. So in this video, we're now going to learn to use our backhand to finish the rally off, guys. Okay, so use it to generate a shot which some of you might refer to as a winner. All right, the shot that finishes the rally. Okay, now first of all, the main thing that we see at club level where people go wrong, so the main problem they sort of face with this is that they try and hit a winner off the wrong shot. Okay, so when we're trying to hit this winning shot or finishing shot, we need to be inside the baseline quite convincingly. So somewhere around or just behind the service line. Okay, and we need a ball that gives us a contact point at or ideally just above waist height, guys. So what we don't want to be doing is trying to hit a winner off a ball below waist height. Okay, now the reason for that is if the ball is low, we've got to lift it up over the net in order to get it over, okay? And if we're lifting it up, we've then got to apply quite a lot of spin to then make it dip again. Now, all of that spin's going to slow the ball down. Common misconception, topspin adds power. Topspin, people, any sort of spin, just to clarify, slows the ball down. So you need to remember that. Slice, topspin, whenever we're talking, it always slows the ball down. So when it comes to attacking and finishing, you want to hit as flat as possible. But as I'm sort of describing here, you can only do that off a higher contact point because obviously you need to pretty much be hitting the ball down into the court. In that it's not a winner and the player has time to get across and get to the ball, guys. So if we can contact above waist height, we can hit the ball a lot flatter. Okay, using a technique, linked to our hitting zone earlier in the course. So we're going to come through the ball a lot flatter with less of a brushing motion, guys. But we need to contact high in order to do that and still get the ball in. If you try and hit hard and flat from a low ball, it's either going to hit the net or go flying out the back of the court, guys. All right, so remember, try and get to the ball nice and early, as close to the net as possible. A nice high contact point, that is critical. And then a much flatter swing path with the racket, guys. So less of a drop here, okay, and less of a finish. You can finish a lot flatter as opposed to coming up high with the elbows. So less of a drop on the way back. Nice acceleration through the ball and a flatter finish as well, guys. All right, so let's have a look at a few of these now. Okay, just really note the contact point I get. So I'm aiming to get my contact point sort of between waist height and shoulder height. Okay, let's have a look at these. Does he hit the net? Okay, let's do one more, guys. Okay, so you can see I'm getting myself side on there, okay, using my right leg to load through, okay, and then drive up, bringing the hips through. The main thing I want you to take away from this video, though, guys, is that contact point being higher, all right? It's so, so important when attacking these short balls. All right, guys? So when that's working for you, well done, move on, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Boom. So,
nice, smooth.
Right, how do I stop sharing? I'm back. I've done it. Yeah, so I mean, and like I said, that is that's not a lesson. That is literally, I think that's one of about 12 videos in that intermediate backhand course. So you can see very comprehensive there. Steve, I think even you'd learn from it at your elite level. You know, having played to a very high level, I think there's something in there for you. So get on it. Right, should we have a look at the real deal now?
Yeah, good. It'd be good to pick out some of those things in terms of the pro demo that you've got lined up.
Do you know what I've just done? I've just gone straight to it. I haven't started screen sharing. Knew I'd do that. No chance I'll do it twice in a row perfectly. So, sorry about the quality of the video. It's not kitbagcoaching.com, it's YouTube. So it comes back, you can see when he's behind the baseline, he's not doing anything. Oh, look at that, beautiful. So you can see at the baseline, when I was talking about decision making there, he's not trying to hit a winner from behind the baseline. You know, he's moving the player around, trying to create basically, look, here you go, a short ball. And then we'll just pull that back so we can have a little look at the contact point, but you'll see what I mean about the higher contact point. It's hard to see, let's have a look. Yeah, it's very hard to see there, but his contact point is pretty much, you know, above chest height, more towards shoulder height. And so, like I said, like we were talking about in the video, the advantages of that obviously means, you know, if you put the way I like to think of it is if you put your eyes at your contact points, if you put your eyes on the strings, can you see down into the court? So can you see over the top of the net and down inside the baseline? If that's a yes, then you can effectively hit the ball like a bullet coming out of a gun. You can hit the ball in a perfectly straight line and it's physically possible to get it to go in. If you're where the strings are, i.e. waist height, below the height of the net or at the height of the net, and you put your eyes where the strings are, if you can't see over the top of the net and inside the baseline, then you physically have to make that ball drop in the air. So you're going to have to hit it slower to get it to drop, or you're going to have to apply spin to make it dip. So it really does come back to that idea of decision making, and I think that's, like I say, something that's maybe overlooked by some players who maybe haven't had that experience or, you know, that sort of knowledge applied to their game, where people always look at the technique, they always think they've done something wrong with the shot when sometimes they were never going to get it in. You've got to look at and again it comes back to footwork, like we keep banging on about. You know, on these calls, we keep talking about footwork and movement and the physicalities of tennis. You can't get that higher contact point unless you're willing and able to get to that ball early enough, plant your feet, stop, load, and get that higher contact point. So, yeah, pretty interesting when you actually analyse these shots, and not only the mistakes. When you analyse the shots that work, like that winning backhand from Del Potro there, then, you know, to get that high contact point, if you actually watch the footwork, you'll see that without the footwork, he would never have been able to hit that shot. So it really does come back to getting in position early and getting in the best position possible, not just thinking of it as, oh, I'll get to the ball before the second bounce. That's good enough, you know, as a beginner, but if you want to play better tennis, you know, you need to try and get to the ball early enough to hit the best shot possible, not just in time, you know, for the sake of getting there before it bounces twice. You know, that's quite a sort of plateaued point of view. You know, you're gonna be able to get it back. That's great, but you're probably not going to move on. Push on,
yeah,
you know, and improve. So, yes, but what a shot!
Interesting.
And winner. Love it.
So once upon a time, I used to actually have a double-handed backhand.
So did I.
Which was
then I got lazy. Started coaching. I got lazy.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You start coaching, you have to hold balls in the other hand, so you pick up all these techniques to accommodate for that. So the double-handed backhand goes out the window, doesn't it, as a coach?
No, it's true. If you look at 95% of coaches, whatever age, I think if they're doing, once they start doing a few hours on court, they realise that, it's just subconscious. Obviously, normally you've got, like you say, balls that you're ready to feed another one if someone makes a mistake or you're basket feeding or whatever. So a lot of the time, it's just down to the job. And then you sort of create this monster of a one-handed backhand. Not in my case. Mine's very much below average, but I've seen yours, Steve. It's a weapon. It's a weapon.
It's a weapon, mate. It is a weapon. Good stuff. Good. So just coming back to the footwork issue, I think that's it's definitely a consistent theme amongst some of the things that we have been saying online, especially the crossover between performance and injury, where I step in. There's a huge crossover when it comes to the footwork, because that's often where the adaptation in the body position and the compensation through the hands and shoulders, where people are going to get injured playing tennis, is quite high as well. Michael Oliver's joined us for the secrets. Do you know Michael Oliver?
Me?
Yeah.
Awkward if I do and I say no, but I don't recognise the name. But
no, it's Michael Oliver. Hi, Michael. How's it going? So I used to play tennis with Michael when I was a junior at the club, and he and his brother. Yeah, I used to know Michael. Yeah. If it's the same Michael, it might not be the same Michael. I'm pretty sure it is, though. But yeah, Michael, if it's you that you play tennis with, say hi. And tell us how many hands you use to hit backhand now. I think he had, if I remember correctly, Michael Oliver that I know had, they all had double-handed backhands apart from Ben, he'd play like any shot. He was they're all really good, but Ben never used to make up his mind whether he hit a single or double-handed backhand, so it's very difficult to play against. I think there are some differences, aren't there, between single and double-handed backhand in that mid-court ball that you're going to be coming in for, especially in the attacking nature. So do you find there's a lot of differences?
I think defensively, probably more. So pace-wise, I think usually you've got more stability behind the racket, behind the contact point with the two-handed backhand. Hence why you've got some amazing two-handed backhand returners. Murray, Djokovic, some of these guys who the return stats are just mental. And not only the stats, but the quality of those returns to lead to the stats. Consistency and quality. Whereas you've got players like Federer, where it is an obvious, it's a weakness dealing with pace, on a first serve or a very high kick serve on a hard court or a clay. So I think defensively, one-handed backhand's definitely more vulnerable. I think that, everyone knows that. And I think that's why, especially in the modern day, you do see a lot more two-handed backhands than you would have done, 40, even 30, 40, years ago. But I think, and the other one is the footwork. With a one-handed backhand, you can hit quite a good shot without too much rotation. So I think we spoke about this last time. When we coach beginners at Kitbag, we work on the idea of not rotating too much on the finish for purposes of control and stability and getting that form right, and then moving it on to more as you go through the sort of levels. With a two-handed backhand, that rotation is a fundamental part of it, like the forehand, driving from the hips to get the trunk coming around and the upper body and the shoulders. So on like a very wide ball where you can step across yourself and actually close the feet off and hit a very good one-handed backhand still, with a two-handed backhand, you're quite limited there. So that's where you see a lot of two-handed players using a slice on a wide ball, whereas the one-handed players could use a slice, but they can also hit a pretty good sort of block backhand off that wide ball. But I think short balls, I think there's not too much of a difference attacking a short ball off both. I think any ball where you can take the ball above waist height, within reason, obviously between sort of waist and shoulder height, around the service line, any good player is going to put either shot away. Same with drive volleys. So, yeah, it's. I mean, they've both got their advantages, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting. Do you think there's a huge difference in footwork, isn't there? Just getting to that mid-court ball and preparing for a single-handed versus a double-handed in that mid-court where you're attacking it to hit the winner.
Yeah, obviously, one-handed backhand, your contact point's slightly further away. You've got a bigger range of motion, you know, because you're not limited by those two hands on the racket. You're not as restricted, so you can really create some quite awesome racket speed. Yeah, I think again coming back to the footwork, I think the mistake players of both shots make, so two-handed backhand and one-handed backhand players at club level, we see it an awful lot, and it's that almost like a complacency, and it's not intentional. I think it's just maybe not realizing what they could do if they get to the ball earlier. It's one of those things where until your eyes are opened to, you know, you could hit this shot if you did it differently, then people just don't know. And it's usually something that is well within their capabilities. You know, everyone can run 10% harder, 20% harder than they already do, right, if they put the effort in, you know. Comes back to my PB today, Steve, around the lake, but I won't keep talking about that. But, you know, if we want to push ourselves, we can push ourselves, right? So we can get there that little bit earlier. And what I want to say about footwork is it comes back to the other week. I gave you that very sort of philosophical, magical quote that your footwork is in a locker. No, your tennis ability is in a locker and your footwork is the key. So you can open the locker, it's your footwork, but it's whether you're willing to do that or not. And it more comes back to that point of if you want it enough, you know. The footwork to get to a short ball isn't complicated. There's no fancy footwork, you know. It's very much a sprint forwards, a shuffle to get yourself side on, make space. But it's no different to what players are already doing. It's just doing it that bit faster. So you're getting there, you know, half a second earlier or 0.8 of a second earlier. So you can contact the ball, you know, this much higher than you were doing. So rather than letting the ball drop, and like I was speaking about in that video, then having to deal with, you know, having to brush up the back of it in order to keep it in, or having to slow it down in order to keep it in, or getting there, contacting low and absolutely tonking it, but because you've just hit flat, it either goes in the net or goes out. You know, if you're willing to put the work in, you get there a bit earlier, and suddenly you can do these amazing things. And it's, you know, you'll never look back. But until you do that, until you realise it's well within reach, you know, it's well within your capabilities. I feel people just maybe don't do it. They sort of stay within that comfort zone of sort of like a jog. They sort of jog to the ball. Think, oh no, I can get there before it bounces twice. It's all right. But the ironic thing is, obviously, when you're coming to the net, you need to be putting the player under pressure. Obviously, if you attack a ball at the service line, you're going to follow it into the net. You wouldn't then retreat back to the baseline. If you're following a very mediocre ball into the net, that's where you're susceptible to a lob or a passing shot. And that's one of the big things I have to deal with when you're coaching sort of more beginner and intermediate players, especially when they start to play matches, club matches and in leagues and stuff. Is players, especially in doubles, are so scared of going to the net. And what if I'm coaching a group, for example, what one person will always say is, when I come to the net, I get lobbed. You know, I don't want to get lobbed. I'll always get lobbed. And it's like cause and effect. People see the lob, but that's the effect. You know, you can't, you know, if you get lobbed, fair enough, that's fine. But why did you get lobbed? You got lobbed because you came in off a ball that wasn't good enough. It's as simple as that. You know, if you hit a better ball, which is either a winner, or you're forcing a mistake out of them, or you're forcing them to put it up high for you to, you know, smash or hit it back to you, you won't get lobbed. You know, so people focus on the effect. They see the effect, they see the lob, and they think, oh no, then their defense mechanism goes, right, don't go to the net, because then you can't get lobbed. It's like, but you're not going to win tennis matches, you know, by not attacking short balls. So you've got to fix the cause, you know, which is hit a better attacking shot, set yourself up better with that approach shot, you know, and like Del Potro there, it might even be a winner, you know, if you hit it well enough. But worst case scenario is they make a mistake, or, you know, ball comes back to you and you get an easy volley or smash. But best case scenario is the shot's so good that it's a winner. But yeah, cause and effect. Fix the cause, ignore the effect.
Exactly.
Like your haircut, Steve. I'm trying to work out what the cause was and what the effect was. Like me 4 weeks ago.
I was jealous of yours, wasn't I?
Well, this is my lockdown haircut number 3. I'm glad to say she's learned. Yeah, look at this. I'd have paid for this. Not a lot, but I'd have paid for it.
Believe it or not, I actually used to pay for someone to do this to my hair until I worked out it was easier for me to do it myself. I did a good job as well. down to the bone, short for sport. That's what it is. Excellent, good. So if you're watching live on Facebook, it'd be great to have some questions about the backhand to understand a little bit more about where you guys are. If you're not watching live and you're watching on the replay, then we'd still love to have some questions from you to work out how we can help you achieve the best backhand possible. But Rupert's going to now let us know about some secrets to the backhand. So Rupert, what would be your top 3 secrets with regards to hitting a good mid-court two-handed backhand?
I'm good. Well, I'm not going to go mid-court. I'm going to go any two-handed backhand to start with. It should be your non-dominant side that is in control on a two-handed backhand, and this is the biggest mistake people make. And this is why it's so hard to go from a one-handed backhand to a two-handed backhand, or vice versa. A one-handed backhand, you're using 100% your dominant side, apart from obviously using your non-dominant hand to set up. But as you hit the ball, it's 100%. Right side for me as a right-handed player. When I hit a two-handed backhand, it should be about 70% left side. So it's about 65, 70% your non-dominant side that should actually be taking control. And that's simply because when you hit a two-handed backhand, it's your non-dominant side of your body, your left side, that's behind the racket. It's at the back of your body. That's the side that should be driving through. As on your forehand, it's your right side. Or vice versa if you're left-handed. So your non-dominant side, your weak side, should be the sort of the driving force on all your two-handed backhands. Remember that. So really good exercise you can do at home is or on court is just do some shadow swinging just with your weak hand on the racket. So get your backhand grip, take your strong hand off, keep your left hand where it is. If you're right-handed, keep it where it is, and just hit some balls like that, or do some shadow swings like that. It will make the world of difference. Second thing is short balls. This is the same forehand or backhand or even a drive volley. Prioritize the contact point. If you don't get a high enough contact point, you're going to run the risk of hitting the net or hitting it long. Or if you do get it in, you will have had to brush the ball and apply some spin or completely slow it down. If you want to hit hard, you want to hit flat, and you want to be effective, you physically have to get a high contact point. It's as simple as that. That's never changed. That never will change. That will still be the same in 200 years. Unless we're just doing like Wii tennis, then I don't know. Who knows where tennis will be in 200 years. But yeah.
That's pretty good. Have you played Wii tennis?
I played it about 10 years ago when the Wii came out, and it's shocking. You do this and you've hit an ace. You just flip your hand underarm and you've hit like a tee serve at like 160 miles an hour, faster than Roddick. Biggest scam ever. Because the problem with games like this, people that can't play tennis, i.e. my sister, used to beat me at it. And you're doing your proper shapes, you're split stepping on the Wii. The Wii doesn't even recognise what you're doing. The Wii's thinking, who's this joker? But you've got your dynamic ready position, everything. And they're just, stood there like this, winning. It's a joke. It's a con. It's a scam. It's a fix. It's corrupt.
You know what they say, Rupert? It's not how hard you hit the ball. It's where you hit it that counts.
Mate, honestly, Wii tennis, God. People say that to me. They say, just so the kids are on lockdown, should we get them playing Wii tennis? No. Get them a swing ball.
Excellent.
What a game, swing ball. I've got one more tip to do, haven't I? I'm stalling. Have you noticed? Because I haven't got one. I'm joking. What's my third tip on the two-handed backhand? When you're hitting when you're trying to hit a winning shot off a short ball, technically to change the shot, you need to change your hitting zone. So what that means is, very simply, you need to be hitting through the back of the ball more as opposed to coming up the back of the ball. So when you're hitting your rally balls, I'm sure your coach has encouraged you to brush the ball. We use the word brush an awful lot. All that means is to bring the racket up the back of the ball to generate spin. When you're hitting a flatter shot, to get that effect, because you want more power, you want less height and less spin. And to get that combination of more power but less height, less spin, you need to hit the ball, not brush the ball. But again, that's why you need a higher contact point. So it's just always looking at the outcome you're trying to create in the situation that you're in, and then changing the technique based upon that. It's as simple as that. That's the way we coach. That's the way it works. And these courses are designed to get you thinking in the way good coaches think. So I want you to become a great coach yourself, so you can basically self-teach through your mistakes, and that's the idea. So you can work alongside what your coach is doing with you when you're on court yourself. That error detection and sort of self-analysis, after a while will come second nature to you, which is fantastic. So even you, Steve, there's hope for you there.
Right, to sign up. Let's get myself some kit bag. Excellent. Good stuff. Rupert, it's been a pleasure talking to you tonight. What's happening on the T-shirt front? Who won the last one? Can't remember.
Who won last week?
Yeah. You kept it for yourself, Rupert.
Yeah, I've got another one.
Got another one. Excellent. Yeah, so we're looking for a winner. So join us on Friday night, where we're talking about.
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Joe, we could talk about the hot dog, the tweener.
We talk about trick shots. So on Friday night, we're going to talk about the best trick shots Rupert can do, and he's going to teach you guys how to do some of these hot shots. So if you're looking to improve your game and improve the shiny rapidness of your game, to have a little bit of some of those once-in-a-lifetime shots, then it'd be good to tune in on Friday night, and Rupert's going to lift the lid on some of those tennis shots. But for now, it's good night from me. See you later.
On that note, just quickly, if you want to get more sort of snippets from the website, if you want to actually get some sort of tips and tricks on those trick shots and other shots as well, head over to our Instagram. Follow free videos. They're going up weekly, daily. So we've got tutorials going up all the time now, which is made up of snippets from the website. So you're getting some really, really high quality content, absolutely free. It's Kitbag Coaching on Instagram. At Kitbag Coaching. But apart from that, that's good night for me as well. See you later.
Take care, mate. Bye-bye.